Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of The Opinionate. Here, me, Kevin, and Henry, we're going to talk about egalitarianism, defined as a theory that explains and articulates what it is for people to be equal.
Awesome.
Yeah, so I'm gonna start us off with some kind of ideas. So think about it, right? In political discourse and in just everyday conversations, the idea of equality comes up all the time. We talk about things like, oh, you're not being equal, or the government is not being equal, or equality is the foundation of our political system. But do people really inquire into what they mean when they say the word equal? Um, what do you think, Henry? Like, do you see people talking about equality and are you skeptical about it, or do you support the discourse?
Well, I'm not sure because I think the normative stance people take towards equality is sort of intertwined and intertwined with their definition of equality. So, not knowing what they mean by equality, I'm not sure about their normative stance.
Right, and I think this issue is further complicated by the fact that equality is not always a positive word. Sometimes people even use it to mean negative things. For instance, people will say, like, perfect equality is bad because, they think about the Soviet Union, they think about communist regimes when they think about perfect equality. But on the other hand, they seem to strive for equality themselves. For instance, in the US Constitution, for instance, it says all men are created equal. Well, isn't this an instance of equality? So, you know, this issue is really complicated. And I want to first begin by saying that the way I use the word equality is I don't use it in a negative sense. So I'm going to try to portray a picture of equality that is positive. And that by that I mean I won't use equality in such a simple and straightforward way. So I don't think that, two people, if they have the same amount of money, it just means they're equal. I don't mean it in such like a physical, like substantial sense. I want to kind of have a more nuanced idea of equality that captures its positive aspects. Um, and this is what we're trying to do in this podcast. Um, so I want to
Yeah.
begin by asking, like, do you think that our current world is equal, Henry? I mean, let's just put aside what is equality for now. And
I mean, we sort of have to start with the definition, right?
mhm. like,
I think we
okay,
should start with the definition.
right. So let's start from one of the oldest philosophers who talked about this issue. Um, and that man is Immanuel Kant. Kant talked about equality in the sense of equality of respect. So he argues that what it is for two-person to be equal, and it is for them to earn and have equal respect. Um, and like, of course, when I use the word equality again, I'm using it in a positive normative sense. So I'm using it as a guideline for communal action. I'm using it as a political ideal. So what Kant is arguing in this sense is that we should strive to give everyone equal respect, no matter who they are. And his argument, of course, originates from his very famous picture of people as ends in themselves, and ends in themselves deserve equal respect on the ground that they're free and rational agents. What do you think is a potential objection to this account?
Well, it seems like equality, pertains only to the the agent, right? If the agent doesn't really care about respect, it doesn't seem like that's a good account, right?
Well, I don't think this is a factual issue. It might be the case that people don't really care about respect, but what Kant is saying here is that people should respect other people equally, because we're all free and rational agents, and we deserve a kind of respect based on our status as such.
Oh, I see. Sure. So say that two people he says that two people are equal if and only if well maybe not only if but
If
if
they have
they
received,
earn the same
yes.
level quantity of
Hmm.
respect, right? Received, yeah, sure. But that seems to gloss over sort of. It seems to gloss over. Oh, that would just be a factual claim, right? That glosses over
Well,
sort of like the more normative claims about
mhm.
respect,
Well,
about
I don't see
equality.
how it's a
It's
factual
like whether
claim
they should.
because, well, equality comes in two parts. So first, you have the
Yeah,
question, what is equality? And that is a factual question. There's nothing normative about it. The second question is, should we strive towards equality? And that's normative. Kant is only trying to answer the factual
right.
question, the factual component of a normative question. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm saying that.
Well, in the analysis that I'll provide, none of them seem to do that. I mean, and
Sure,
I
but I'm
don't see
saying that
what's
like
the point
sometimes
of doing it
we need
because
to
the
ground the
question, what
factual
is
on
equality,
the
is
normative.
not a normative question. It's not like a trick question that somehow like smuggles in a moral packet. It's a very, it's just asking you, like, when you use the word equality, what do you mean? And then after you say what do you mean, we can engage in a normative discussion around, how important it is or how should we strive towards it. But on this level, we're only talking about the factual. Mhm.
Sure, I guess. But okay, so well, I mean respect. You know, I would prefer an account about the equality of I don't know utility, right, or something that could more directly relate to the agent. And it doesn't seem like respect directly relates to the agent as much. Well, it seems like we want to know about truth. It seems like we want to know what's true. Yeah, sure, sure. Yeah, I think another issue. Yeah, I think another issue is like respect. Yeah, it's about respect, right? It's like this term respect, it seems to be sort of contentious than terms like utility, right? It seems like saying something about the equality of respect would be roughly similar to saying something about, I don't know, the equality of like rationality, right? There could be multiple types of rationality or respect. We're just not sure about the term. Yeah. Well, I think this account is. I mean, sure. I think this account is admissible, but I think this could gloss over some issues on like distribution, right? Like when people have different like sort of thresholds of desire of like achieving a certain level of desire, this could pertain to sort of maybe more fundamental issues about distribution of resources. Yeah, sure. Wait, I think like no, I'm saying that like we don't know people's thresholds for welfare. Like we don't know their preferences. Right. So for example, like I might like have a preference for I don't know vanilla ice cream that will give me like maybe 5 units. Even that might be problematic. 5 units of welfare, and like you might have, and for you vanilla ice creams might only give you like 2 units. But maybe society is more fit to produce more vanilla than chocolate ice cream. So I'm saying that this go way into. Well, it seems like then perhaps. Oh, oh, I don't really see a problem with that. I'm just saying that this account, when applied to like real life, could yield some. It might not well explain how we should distribute because we don't know people's thresholds. Sure. I think it is. I don't see a intuitively. I don't see a problem with that. Wait, I have a good idea. Like, I don't know, but like, imagine that we're under this original position, right? Imagine that we don't know who we are. We don't know our identity. Like we're under this veil of ignorance, behind this veil of ignorance. So we could be the champagne guy, or we could be the orange juice guy, right? In this case, we would choose for the government to, you know, um, distribute according to desire. So that is to give the champagne guy the champagne, the orange guy, the orange juice. Yeah, right. Yeah, that's what I meant, like the money. They're not rewarded for their taste. They get the same level of welfare. Like at the end of the day, it's the welfare that really matters, right? It's not the champagne in itself, nor the orange juice in itself. Well, I think. Well, I think it is. Well, I think in this case, our intuition is confusing, preferences as something that's like sort of more free will motivated. I think it's way more deterministic. I don't think we really get to really choose or shape our preferences. And I think if we don't give the champagne guy the money to buy the champagne, we're not compensating for their unluckiness, right? I think that would make them unlucky for having this high preference, right? This high threshold for achieving certain utility or welfare. Well, in that sense, you'd be really unlucky for having this high threshold. Yeah. Sure. So, well, if you well say that there's this champagne guy and there's this orange juice guy, right? Um, I don't know. Orange juice costs like $1. Champagne costs, I don't know, $200. I guess I'm not sure. But like, well, suppose that the government has $205, perhaps. Well, it would seem that if the government like gives them an equal amount, equal amounts of money, right? That would result in the orange juice guy having more utility than the champagne guy, right? Because the champagne guy will only get to buy orange juice, right? So, well, that would just make the champagne guy unlucky. We would not be compensating for his unluckiness. He's unlucky in the sense that his preference, his preference has such a high threshold of achievement. Like he has to buy the champagne to get the same level of enjoyment as the orange juice guy, and I think that's quite unlucky. So in this sense, we should compensate for the unlucky. I don't see how that's counterintuitive. Well, I think principally, in an ideal world in which we have good knowledge of people's, endowments like intelligence, physical strength, appearances, I would agree with Dworkin. I would absolutely agree with Dworkin. Um, I think like resource egalitarian is a pretty good account in like the real world, in which we don't necessarily know about these endowments. But I think it's not compensating for brute luck enough. It's not compensating for the people who are unlucky in the sense that they have probably like higher thresholds in their preferences. For example, the champagne guy has a higher threshold than the orange juice guy. So, well, I just don't think it's compensating for bad luck enough. Right. Yeah, I agree that resource egalitarian is probably the best solution right now. But I think when we get better knowledge of like what people want, their preferences, their thresholds, we should move on to welfare egalitarianism. And the reason why I think so is because inherently there is still this monopoly of orange juice guys, which is like 90% of the population, over champagne guys, with 10% of the population. Inherently, there's still this inequality going on that's not compensating for the bad luck of the 10%. And also I wanna say that like ambition is not necessarily option luck, right? Or just no luck. I think ambition is sort of maybe more brute luck, right? Maybe there are different types of ambitions that can monopolize over some certain, like less frequent types of ambitions. And that could be a form of brute luck. Yeah. Wait, so let me ask you this. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, so you're saying that there are different qualities. Like, are you saying that utility, like the quality of utility differ by person, or are you saying that like we just can't measure the quantity? I see. Mm. Oh, okay. Well, you would agree that you would agree that it's possible for us to fulfill like 70% of your potential possible welfare, right? Well, it seems like there's this limit to welfare you can. Well, perhaps there's not a limit, but there's this level of welfare on you, right? That we can achieve for you, like your welfare that we can achieve, right? It's like maybe Sunday you're feeling like I don't know 7 out of 10 utility. Sure, well, right, right, yeah. Well, I guess then we just I suppose we give I suppose the best solution to this is just to give everyone I don't know maybe 7 out of 10 utility if that's possible. Um, we just compare it internal to the individual. We equality. Yeah. Well, you do have this idea of utility, so I think that's well. I think the fact that it's intelligent probably gives some justification. Well, we do have this idea of like today's a good day, today's a bad day. In the sense that you can make internal comparisons of utility. Yes. Uh, well, not really, but I just want to explore this may potential objection about an endowment as to perhaps monetary wise, if that's possible. Oh, it, it seems like it seems like um, by non identity, you would. I'm not sure. This is like uh very sketchy, but so you wouldn't exist if not for an unequal distribution of endowments. Me and you wouldn't exist. We would prefer to exist, I suppose, than non-existing. I'm not sure. I'm not sure about this. Right. Is it your book? Oh, can I have your signature? Okay, cool. I guess that's it. Maybe next episode we can explore more of the other side of the debate. Maybe like more Nozick. Right. All right. Cool. All right. So see you next time.